After Taking Stock was published, I think you kind of became viewed as like an expert on this intersection of money and purpose and meaning. And you shared that that led to some great speaking opportunities. But then when you would talk, people would come up with this, what you call, I think, purpose anxiety, like where they're so stressed out because they don't know their purpose. So first, I just want to say kudos on the marketing plan to like sell your second book by creating anxiety with your first. But more seriously, why do you think people find this topic of finding your purpose so stressful and so anxiety producing?
Well, first and foremost, I never expected this. So the main premise of my first book, Taking Stock, one of the main premises is we should put purpose, identity, and connections first. And so I went to give all these talks where I made that point, purpose, identity, connections comes first, then build a financial framework. And I get these pissed off people. They literally be angry and they come see me after my talks and they'd be like, you say find your purpose, but I don't know how to find my purpose. I don't think there is a purpose. I've been searching for it forever. And I'm actually getting really down and sad and worried about it. Like, I don't think there's a purpose. Please stop asking me to find my purpose. And that utterly confused me because I was like, oh, what do you mean? Like, I think, I've always been told purpose is like the biggest, most important thing. Um, it really, really made me question it. And so I went and I did a bunch of research and I did find that purpose is associated with all sorts of good things, happiness, health, longevity. It's pretty clear in the scientific data and in the scientific studies. But up to 91% of people at some point in their life have purpose anxiety. Larissa Rainey did a huge study on this. And purpose anxiety, she defined it as stress, frustration, anxiety, worry about not being able to find your purpose. So, why is finding your purpose so hard? Well, first and foremost, I say you don't find your purpose, you kind of build or create it. But it is true you need to have some inklings, some guesses, some anchors to build purpose around. But the reason purpose is so anxiety provoking is a lot of people think their purpose should be this big, audacious, life changing thing. And usually, because especially we live in America, we usually make it really hard to achieve. So it's like, I'm going to be a Major League Baseball player, or I'm going to be president, or I'm going to travel to the moon. All of these things that between you and me, the grand majority of people fail at. So I call this big P purpose. It's really hard to reach. It's very scarcity mindset oriented because only a few people can get there. And it leaves us feeling anxious when we either fail or the work it takes to get there is so hard we don't want to do it anymore. So it's not just that you have to fail. It may be that you're quite capable, but it totally burns you out or you have to ignore other parts of life. And so that doesn't feel good. On top of that, it's not just that it's big P purpose, but if you look at social media and advertising and even our own families, everyone is pushing us towards these big, audacious versions of purpose. If you get on Instagram and you follow your favorite influencers, most of them are trying to sell some type of product or idea or get you to follow them. And they're showing you pictures of six pack abs and traveling the world and seven-figure businesses and they're trying to sell you something, but what it's really saying to you is this is what purpose looks like. Or same thing with advertisers, right? They're showing you commercials and pictures of people living the good life if they just buy that product again. And then your family members, a lot of times your family members are telling you, especially your parents, they're looking at all they did wrong in their life and then they're trying to foist that on you by saying, don't do the mistakes I did. But instead of letting you find your own version of purpose, they're trying to give you their version of purpose. So there are lots of forces out there trying to push their version of purpose on you. And most of the time, it's not for you. It's to make money or to assuage their guilt of not becoming who they wanted to become. And it's all big, audacious purpose. And so it's painful and anxiety provoking. I believe in something completely different, what I call little p purpose. This is process associated purpose. So not goal, right? Big P purpose is all about goals. Little p purpose is about process. What can I do that lights me up? And that's going to be different for everyone. So what the influencer on TikTok loves is may or may not be what you love, and that's just totally fine.